Welcome to the Art of Selling Junk. My name is John, and this is part 2 of my tips for selling at the world's longest yard sale. I did a video about this previously, realized I did not get nearly all the information out there, so this is round 2 of it. And my first piece of advice, it pertains to merchandising. And I'm going to tell you how it matters, but not as much as you think, but maybe more than you think. There's two stories that go with this. When I first started the world's longest yard sale, I didn't put any effort into presentation of my stuff. I basically raked it out of the trailer onto the ground. People dug through it and they bought it. And as the week went on, I would kind of try to make it look interesting, but at best, it was a curious pile, an intriguing heap. And I sold. So after that, I decided I should put more effort in. And I did. And I made it cute, and I made it themed, and I made it more attractive for the customer, and I made more money. And finally, I really refined it and got to the point where it was a really good customer experience, and I could raise the prices as a result. So there's a couple of things that you could learn from this. One, it you don't have to. If you just want to sell, you could throw it in a pile. I've done it. But if you want to make money, and for the most money as you can for your time, every bit of extra effort you can that makes the experience better for the customer pays off. Now, it can take trial and error. It can be sort of a matter of opinion as to what that looks like, or it's not for everyone. I was originally just a guy with a high mileage truck, a ratty old trailer, and throwing it in a heap worked for me. But as time went on, I figured out that this was a better way to do it. So if you can, create as pleasant of a storefront as you can, and at minimum, you need to follow a couple of rules. The biggest one being, get your best pieces out front and center stage. There is no assumption that people are going to wander in. You need to pull them in. You need to, almost take a Las Vegas approach to it. Neon, fountains, the works. Put your best stuff up front so people can see it. And the other thing that you should do is actually a tip that is onto itself, which is no holes. As you sell, you have to fill in that space that was just vacated. When an item leaves, you can't have bare table space. That's the sign that you're getting picked out and that your booth is thin and that there's nothing to see here anymore. You just don't look interesting. You need to have a full display at all times. And this can get tricky as the week goes on because you've sold so much stuff. You're going to have extra tables and things like that you don't need. Fold them up, get them out of the way, shrink your booth down. You'd rather have a very packed, interesting looking small footprint than two, three, four spaces that you're not even using and that your stuff is scattered so thin. I would bring it all into one, keep it compact, make it look like something is going on there, and that the merchandise is fresh and that it's exciting and it's worth digging through. Because if it's sparse, it's just not appealing, and you will see that customers respond. You're not going to get the traffic. So the act of running your booth is the act of constantly shuffling it and keeping it, re-merchandised, displays mixed up, holes filled in, and no dead space. My third piece of advice is to, no matter what happens during the sale, stay the course and don't panic. And this is something that is unique to a long show like the World's Longest Yard Sale. In 1 to 2 day shows, each day kind of is predictable. Friday, Saturday, you can talk to other vendors. You know what to expect. The World's Longest Yard Sale can be 7 days, and every year is a little different. And you have a lot of time alone in your booth when things kind of settle down and the crowd isn't rolling through to second guess a lot of stuff. So I would tell you that don't make hasty changes to anything. Just trust the process and believe it's going to work. So, what'll happen, and this is invariably what I experienced every year, is there was one dead day. This was a day where, for whatever reason, you didn't sell much. And that can leave you to freak out because the day prior you did great and then you didn't sell much. Is it your prices? Is this going to be a bad show? Does the booth look bad? Did you bring the wrong stuff? Forget all those questions. It doesn't matter. You just need to let tomorrow come and roll with it. You'll find that some things just haven't found their buyer. There's nothing wrong with anything else going on except your level of patience. Frankly, you'll see that eventually the person that is meant for that item will find it. And I've seen this happen where I have brought a pile of something, 20 of one item, and not sold any for 4 days. And I'll change where it's situated in the booth. I'll question the price. I'll do all these different things. And the fifth day, one person will buy 8 of them, and it's just different types of buyers come at different times. Dealers are shopping very early. People that are shopping for themselves come when they get off work, so they might show up later in the afternoon or they might show up on the weekend. You're going to see that you're going to have different buyers at different times for different items. And just because not everything is hitting and popular and flying off the shelf right away does not mean has any less merit or that your price is wrong. Just stay the course, stick with it. It's all going to pan out. And my final tip is to just focus all your attention that you can on the good customers. And don't engage cheapskates. That just takes away from the people that deserve your attention. So if you have several people in your booth and someone is just being rude with their offer, just firmly tell them no and don't pay them any more mind. This is a tip. Focusing on the good customers is a tip for the actual mechanics of customer service, but also for just keeping your perspective right in this business. Frankly, I would tell you this if we weren't even talking about the world's longest yard sale. I'd say this is the best advice you could have for selling on eBay and Etsy. It's just focus on the good customers. The people that get what you're doing are the only ones that matter. And if they don't, forget them. And you'll find that by not trying to get into some foolish negotiation with someone that isn't really excited about your item anyway, they just want to get it cheap, or trying to accommodate someone who's being unrealistic, is just detracting you from the people that are there excited and ready to hand you money. And I'll tell you, at the end of the day, every dealer is going to have some story about some jerk that walked into their booth, but they're going to have a wad full of cash that is the sign of people that came through with only good things to say. So I would tell you to remember those people. I have no recollection of the specifics of someone that was rude or curt to me, but I have a lot of fond memories and a lot of friends that have come from the good customers. There was one lady one time that walked into the booth, handed us $100, and said, "Look after this for me," and then proceeded to buy exactly $100 worth of merchandise. She didn't know what she wanted when she walked in. She just felt like spending $100 there. That's a really cool customer. That's a fun story. That's what keeps you going. That's the beauty of the world's longest yard sale. So focus on events like that. Focus on the things that keep you excited, and this show will be something you look forward to every year. I hope this is helpful. I wish everyone the best out there selling, and hopefully we run into each other out there.